Hey, check this out. Want to see something interesting?
Hi, Bosky.
Hey, good morning, CK.
How are you?
I'm good. Nice, cloudy, cool morning.
Indeed. And we've got a new bike here,
Yes,
Ronin.
Yes, Ronin. Very excited to have it here. And this is a hotly contested segment.
How was the spin for you?
Very nice. I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Rode that.
Yeah.
Rode this. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, same here. The engine is very smooth.
Yes.
The delivery of power is, it's very predictable. When I rode the Hunter back to back with the Ronin, I felt the Hunter had a little bit more of a rush. It has a sense of urgency, whereas Ronin was more of a relaxed ride from what I could get.
That's unusual, isn't it? Normally, Royal Enfield is what everybody says is relaxed,
Yes.
easy, slow.
Yes,
Now you have given it a completely different spin
true.
by saying this wants to be this is in a bit of a hurry and
Yeah.
this is not.
Exactly.
So that's something very interesting. So let's get into the details.
Yes, Bosky.
Weight. What about
Yeah.
the weight?
Ronin is at 160.
181 kilos.
The Hunter is at 181.
21 kilos is a lot of difference.
Yes, but still the Hunter has a sense of urgency when you ride it compared to the Ronin.
So that 21 kilos was not so evident.
It was not evident at all.
Seat height?
I was relatively comfortable with both of
Both,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. However, I felt the seat on the Ronin, it's a little bit more stiffer, and I found it much more comfortable than the Hunter. I felt it's a bit more softer.
Yeah, I felt the foam the same. However, for my backside, I found the contours of the Hunter better.
Better. Okay.
Wheels both are the same. They are running 17 both front and rear.
I don't understand why the Ronins come with these block pattern tires when it is meant to be a city bike, or is it meant to be a city bike?
TVS can answer that question if is it meant to be a city bike, an off-road bike, a dirt bike? Well spotted. You are quite right. I don't know why they had to give a block pattern for a bike that is more street and commuting oriented.
Okay.
So tires are more or less, tires and wheels specs are more the same. Although the finishing on the wheels, this has got some edge cut alloy finishing.
I actually like the finish on the Ronin. It's got a good premium look to it compared to the plain Jane Hunter. Nothing to complain. Does the job.
The brakes are 300 mm and 240 mm. I think it's the same on this also.
Yeah, it's a 300 and a 270, I think.
270?
Yeah.
Okay, slightly bigger.
Hunter.
I didn't find any major difference in the braking between the two. They felt reasonably okay. What about you?
I found the Hunter to be a little bit more sharper in deceleration.
Okay.
Possibly this is a new bike and it's yet to break in.
Coming to the suspension, both are 41 mm fronts.
Yes.
However, this is a
This is a USD.
USD.
Genuine question, does it really make a difference if it's a USD or the regular conventional?
I'm happy you asked that question. USD is better. It's more modern design. And it's far superior to the conventional forks. At this level of performance and this level of cost, I don't think it makes a difference.
Exactly.
Visually, it looks great.
I agree to that.
Visually, great. At the kind of performance, the speeds, the kind of roads that these are designed to tackle, it's not going to make a difference.
And majority of its life, a motorcycle's life, it's going to spend between 40 to 60 or 70 kilometers. Does it make a difference? I don't know.
One disadvantage is with the oil seal. If that fork blows an oil seal, the oil stays in the fork. It's only a bit of film that gets thrown out on top.
True.
If this blows an oil seal, it's going to
discharge
dump
everything.
all the oil out. That's okay. Given a choice, I will take this. Given a choice. It looks good, fine and dandy and nice. Riding it, experiencing it, it doesn't make a difference. The rear, that's a mono.
Yes.
That's a dual.
That's your traditional dual one.
Setup. Now that makes a difference. Did you feel much difference when riding at what we did this morning?
Yeah, I found that a little bit more sharper during the turns compared to this.
Yeah.
Yes, they've stiffened it up, but this got the better balance. I wouldn't say right balance. It's got a better balance when compared with the Hunter and holds itself well.
From past experience, a twin shock starts to show its weakness when it gets a bit old.
Yes.
Both though act at the same time, one starts to wear out in a slightly different way than the other. That's when the bike starts to have the uneven, the rear starts to fish.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen in a monoshock.
Monoshock, yeah.
I would say mono is better.
Better,
However, retro modern,
Yeah.
does a monoshock and an upside down go well with retro modern? Or is it only the modern side that is taken, or then leave the retro side?
That again, it just question what's the TVS doing with this bike?
Yeah.
Is it a commuter bike? Is it a retro bike? Or is it a cruiser bike?
It's a retro street bike with button pattern tires, a retro bike with upside down fork,
Yes,
a retro bike with monoshock,
yes,
but it's a modern bike. Well, so much for the suspension.
yes.
Let's move to the electricals. All LED, this and the tail light
Yeah,
LED. Only the tail light is LED on the Hunter.
Hunter. The rest,
The rest
are
are
all,
all regular bulbs. LEDs consume less power, brighter.
yes,
I don't know how the headlight beam pattern is. We'll have to check it out tonight. That's pretty good. Like I mentioned in the Hunter video,
Detailed review,
it's
yeah.
got a neat pattern on the road. We will find out about this. So finally, it doesn't matter if it is an LED or a halogen.
halogen, yeah.
When it is focused well, and these reflectors are designed well, it serves the purpose.
Exactly. I think that's what even I would think of, practicality and all that stuff. Yes, it's a good to have. We are right now in the latest 2023,
Yeah.
so you would expect an LED, but then if it doesn't solve the purpose like what we have on the X-Pulse, LED or halogen doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't matter. So on paper, at least I would say, since it is LED, this probably is
You want to give it a bit more brownie points.
more brownie points than the halogen.
What do you think of the stance of the motorcycle?
The stance, clear winner in my mind is the Hunter. The line, the design,
Yes.
it's much more pleasing to the eye.
True.
There is a proportion to the design.
Yes.
In comparison, this is slightly cut and paste. It doesn't look bad.
Yes.
Next to the Hunter, it doesn't look so good. The Hunter seems to have much better lines. If only the looking at the lines, it's a no-brainer for me. Hunter is a winner.
I clearly second you on
Yeah.
that. As I said, I find it three different parts. The front part till the fork is different. The tank up to where the rider sits, it looks different. The pillion to the rear bumper, it again looks different. Because you look at the front bumper, it's a bit squarish. And you look at the rear
That's
bumper,
a big curve.
it's got a bit of a flowery finish to it. Then the engine part.
Let's read out the specs. Then
Sure.
we can discuss how it felt on the road.
So the engine basically on the Ronin is a 225cc. It's a 4-valve single overhead camshaft, and it has an output of 20.4 PS at 7,750 RPM and 19.93 Newton meters. Okay, say 20 at 3,750 RPM. And this is an oil-cooled setup.
Yeah, there's an oil cooler here.
Yeah.
So around 20 bhp and 20
Yes.
Newton meter of torque. The torque is at a relatively low RPM.
Yeah, the Hunter makes out 27 Newton meters at 4,000 RPM.
Yeah.
And the peak power is again very similar to Ronin at 20.4 at 7,000 RPM. Yeah.
So BHP wise, both are similar.
Yes.
Torque, this has got a big advantage simply because it's a big 350cc single.
True.
How did it feel? How did the throttle feel?
This had that sense of urgency. The Ronin was a little bit lazy to go off. If I ride that as a standalone and if I don't ride this back to back, I wouldn't be able to make the difference. But since I did it, I can say the Hunter has a sense of urgency and this is a bit lazy. How about you?
It's interesting you say Royal Enfield has got a sense of urgency.
It's never been associated.
We have never had associate Royal Enfield and urgency.
True.
It's always been laid back, slow, steady, relaxed. This is changing that a bit.
True.
Yeah. Coming back to the main topic, yes, I rode both back to back. I found the Hunter much more responsive, and I had it in my mind at that very moment. I said, yeah, this has got more torque. It feels much better. I pushed it a little more in the same gear. It just seemed to fall off a cliff. This did not fall off a cliff. It kept a steady output of power. I don't mean it is powerful.
I think you're more referring to the delivery of power.
Yeah. This delivers a bunch in that low RPM,
Yes.
up to 4,000 RPM. It's got some phenomenal thing.
Yes.
Then I can feel that drop off.
Drop off, yeah.
The torque curve drop. This torque curve did not drop off so fast. Though the climb is not so much, it seems a more gentler curve. Requires very different riding styles.
Yes.
Whoever buys it has to get used to the motorcycle, on how to ride and how to extract the best from it.
I have a question for you. putting it on the main stand, taking it off. Which do you think was comfortable?
I thought the Hunter was easier. I don't know for what reason.
Here, even though it's like 21 kilos
Yeah.
more, I found it easy.
But when pushing it around, clearly this felt.
Extracting the motorcycle out of the parking, pushing it here and there, I found it easier. The weight, you can just hold it by the handlebar. You don't need to reach out for the rare things around that.
And we have a habit of when parking, just parking it like this, and it's invariably on a down slope.
Yes.
When you want to take it out, you have to push it back up onto the road.
True.
So that will have a little more difficult time with that than with this.
I agree.
Over the years, what I have learned is to back it into the parking, so I can ride out much easier.
Exactly. And what do you think of the fit and finish?
This is far better. I'm talking in terms of the fit and finish. The starting with the wheels, which I mentioned, they got a cut. The engine has got the machined finish on the fins.
Finish, yeah.
That's got just
Nothing.
the casting finish.
Yes, true.
Much more investment has gone into making things look better. Finishing of the components is superior to the Hunter.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even though there are a lot of ifs and bits pieces, a lot of plastics being used, it's a bit busier design in simpler words.
Too many pieces with a lot of nuts and bolts.
Exactly. But then
the quality of the components.
Is good.
Yeah.
The finishing is good. It looks good end of the day. You look at the seat, the stitches they have put on the seat, the color compared to this, right? So I felt, that's a little bit better. The only thing that sticks out as a sore thumb is your rear grab rail. It's too plain looking
compared to the rest of the
motorcycle.
It's just a rod.
Yes, but even then, you look at the fit and finish of the rod as well. It's done well. The welds don't appear to the naked eye.
So speaking about the quality of the finish of the components, the Ronin is ahead of the Hunter.
The speedometer.
Oh, it's a no-brainer. This is a little computer.
Yeah, it's got a DTE. I was surprised.
It's like buying a new mobile phone, Moving from Android to iPhone or from iPhone to an Android, so you're exploring all the new little features. This is way, way, way ahead. That's got nothing in it. Got nothing.
And I found it easier to operate as well. Even though it's got n number of features, I found it very, very easy to operate.
I will not bother listing out that whole features. It's huge. We may need half an hour for that. That's how good it is.
You can still call out a few features on the speedometer.
It's a long list. Do you really want me to read it? It's just too many things.
I think it can rival your entry-level cars, the amount of features it has.
It's got distance to empty,
connectivity,
voice assist, ride assistance, navigation, estimated time of arrival, incoming call alert, custom window notification, ride analysis, ABS, rain and urban.
Yeah, riding modes.
Yeah. It's a big, clear dash.
Yes.
Far better than the basic dash on the Hunter.
And more importantly, it's got the RPM, the tachometer in it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, since that revs only about 2000 RPM, it doesn't need a tach. This revs a lot more, so we need a tach. So sensible design.
And I never got the feeling that with all these features, it was never a cluttered look or a finish that I could see.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it is sitting. It could have been a little more subtle, a little bit lower. This is like what we used to fit in our college days for our rally.
Yes.
We buy one meter from Shivaji Nagar, take one piece of mild steel, drill 2 holes and fit it. It will stick out like this and be. So although this doesn't shake, I don't like this position. I would have preferred it where the Hunter meter is. A little lower, a little better. Personal choice.
The mirrors, pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a lot of work has gone into this. Like so many other components, well designed, well made.
You can adjust it however you want.
That mirror has been around on the Royal Enfield since the UCE. It was on my Classic 500.
Okay.
That was the first time this mirror, they were fancy.
Yeah, nice.
And that's more than 10 years ago. They haven't changed the design. They're no good.
They're not good.
They're no good. This looks good. It works good.
Yes.
Visibility is...
Visibility is very neat. And you don't need to strain your neck, to see very well set up.
So does the
key.
Pretty good, huh?
True.
Looks nice. See,
it's a nice
This
contour.
is the thing. Every component they have given a lot of time and attention to it.
True.
Yes, going back, all of them don't really go together.
I was actually coming to that, Baski, each and every component. And look at the attention for details, I would say. It's got the adjustable levers.
Yeah.
And you look at the plastic flap to it. Look at the plastic. So attention to details has been provided. But do they gel well as a team?
Probably in a couple of years' time, TVS will get there. This is a great start.
Yes.
The ability, the interest to design components well
Yes.
has been established.
True.
Now it is to get it to all blend and flow.
True.
with each other.
Because if I look at it, and if I look at our favorite sports, cricket, it's like having 11 Virat Kohlis in the team. You don't need 11, you just need
Kohlis,
one.
yeah.
It has to be a balance. And that's what I think the bike overall, if I have to be a bit critical of it, lacks it. Each and every component stands out. But then the complete picture, does it look good? What do you think, Baski?
I agree with you. I appreciate the effort of TVS. It's something they have demonstrated, the capability, the ability and the interest
Yeah.
to get into the market.
True.
Which is fantastic for the market.
Yes.
Gives people a choice and takes away the possibility of a monopoly, of controlling a segment and dictating. Good for the market, good for everybody. There's a healthy competition.
Yes.
And products are getting better. Ultimately, the motorcyclist is enjoying better products, better features at
Yes.
better price.
True. So the mileage part, yeah,
So
31,
31 to
32.
33.
Yeah.
This maybe a little more. We don't have any figures because I think bikes have just started to come on the road.
True.
We don't have user mileage, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think my perception would be, possibly 3 or 4 kilometers more than this, 100cc less.
More
so
or
I
less.
think we can expect it.
Price, both are the same.
Yeah, that's
Give or
true.
take 5,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees on the specification.
True.
Which is just like the mileage, it is a marginal difference. It is not going to be a deal breaker. The best thing is for people to ride both singles, doubles, and see what tickles their funny bone. Either will be a right choice.
I get that assurance. You cannot basically go wrong with any one of these bikes.
What will be your choice?
My choice, I think I would still go with the Hunter.
Why?
It's very clear. I like the peppiness of the Hunter compared to the Ronin. Ronin version 2, if they come in with the next set and the design philosophy is corrected to a major extent, I might give it a good look. But at this point in time, it's the Hunter hands down. What is it for you, Runner?
My usage is not typically city commute. However, since both are commuting motorcycles, if I am going to use it for commuting, and sometimes I would like to take it to roads where are a bit open, can go a bit faster and enjoy. Not necessarily touring. I'm not getting into that at all.
Yeah.
This will be much better on the open roads than that.
Okay.
That's because I mentioned earlier how it kind of drops off a cliff.
Yes.
The power drops off a cliff after a certain RPM. It's not slower. I don't necessarily
It's
say
not
the bike
slow,
is slower. I don't like that. I don't like that thing running and falling off a cliff.
It has a very narrow power band.
It's great and then
Yep.
doesn't happen in this. So I feel better when I have that nice bit of revs.
Okay.
I'm not talking of R1 style or CBR 1000 revs, not at all.
I get it. Yeah.
Speaking about these two motorcycles, I prefer the characteristic of this engine over that thumpy, low rev torque. I like this. So this would be my choice.
I think we've given our
Yes,
views,
yes.
and I believe we should give the mic to TMK and Dirt Don
Yeah.
to see what they have to share for you.
TMK, welcome.
Thanks, Baski.
Coming straight to the point.
Sure.
You rode both.
I rode both. My loyalties have always been with Royal Enfield.
Hold that thought. Hold it. 1 minute. Now we will ask TMK. You said something about loyalty to some brand, right?
Oh, indeed, I did.
Okay, now, just clear your mind. Look at that logo on the tank. What does it say?
It says Suzuki.
Thank you. Look at the logo on this tank. What does it say?
Suzuki again.
Thank you. Now, put all those things aside about loyalty to a brand. There are two Suzukis here.
Okay.
One is a 350cc Suzuki, one is a 225cc Suzuki. Now you tell me, which one did you enjoy more?
For a street commute, for city ride, I felt a Ronin is a better choice. Why? It is more comfortable, the handle, positioning, everything else is comfortable. It's lighter. But however, I felt the one right next to me, that Suzuki, better responsive, particularly gear shifting. Right? I felt more comfortable with the this one versus the Ronin.
So which would you choose? Which Suzuki would you choose?
Which Suzuki would I choose? I would choose that one. Why? Because it looks more modern. It has a lot of features which I can make use while commuting or in the city.
Realistic, usable, not a gimmick.
Not a gimmick at all. A lot of things are very usable, which are lacking here. Look-wise, the quality of the products, it's way better here in this new one. That way, TVS has gone way ahead of Royal Enfield.
Now you have given me a logical answer. This is what happens, and that's how things work. There's nothing special about what he mentioned. We encounter this every day in our lives in various aspects. We have the heart and the head. Sometimes the head rules the heart, sometimes the heart rules the head. When we take away that logo and put in Suzuki, it can be anything. It changes the perception of the person. That is how powerful the Royal Enfield brand is. It speaks to the heart. Happy to hear that you like the Ronin.
Moving from the old Royal Enfield to my KTM, it's also been that I would want to stay with the latest and the greatest, at least in the segment, and then enjoy it rather. Than being in some kind of a trip. I would rather be more practical, use what is available, enjoy the riding.
Well spoken. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don, you are the most experienced rider who did some performance riding, some racing, rallying, all that in those days. Your riding inputs are highly valued and appreciated.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for that.
To these two motorcycles, which did you like, which did you enjoy riding more? On which motorcycle would you like to spend more time on, given a choice?
Given a choice, Hunter is my choice. That's because it's talky, peppy. I can have fun on that. I'll enjoy motorcycling on that.
When it comes to the look, which would you choose?
Looks, I would go with the Ronin. It's a more futuristic looking motorcycle.
Okay, so you prefer these looks to that.
It's got a fresh way of, it looks good.
When it comes to the actual handling, braking, acceleration, which was better?
As a rider, as a motorcyclist, as a hardcore motorcyclist, I would like to tell myself, I don't go by the name, brand or looks. I would go with the Hunter because it's got performance in that.
You like the posture?
Yeah, everything's fine.
So for daily commute, you would pick that?
For Bangalore traffic,
Yes.
yeah, definitely for this.
Okay.
This Hunter is the one.
Okay. If I tell you you're going to have to go to Mysore and come, take one bike and go, which bike would you take?
If I have to ride around in Mysore, probably I would prefer Ronin.
Okay.
For traffic like Bangalore, Hunter is my choice.
Okay, so that's quite clear. Anything different, anything unique, interesting you noted in your...
Something which I really like about the motorcycle Ronin is that motorcycle starts without, if you just tell start, it'll start. That's how smooth it is. It's on the fingertip with a feather touch. Okay?
Let's listen to that.
Yeah.
Let's start this up first. Could come closer to the engine to hear the noise. One more time. Let's find out what the TVS says.
I got something interesting for you. You know what I found out on this bike? It starts just like this. Watch this. Lovely.
One touch start.
One tap. Yeah, you don't have to put the effort to use your thumb and press it. For like in my 310 GS, I have to do press it hard. Then it will think, should I start or not? Then it starts. It's not like that.
That's also a TVS.
That's also
Spelt BMW.
true.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Bosky and your famous Booboos.
The Booboo.
Yes.
There are 3 Booboos on this motorcycle. TVS Booboos. The biggest Booboo, this. What is this?
I just fail to understand what it is.
What is this?
Who on earth designs chain covers like this?
Is it a 1000 bhp engine with a big protective cover? Drishtina. Okay. This is a terrible Booboo.
Yeah.
Another one is, why such big bolts?
TVS, I think they had an overload in their screws factory.
TVS fasteners.
Yes. They had an overload there.
TVS fasteners, you could have provided smaller fasteners, less visually jarring.
True.
This is a bit crazy. These are all a bit crazy. You could have made them smaller. That is the second Booboo. third Booboo is the shape of the tail lamp. With all this design language, a round LED could have looked better.
Would have looked better. Exactly.
It's a bit too sleek. It doesn't look like it belongs to this motorcycle.
Yes.
So, those are the 3 Booboos by TVS.
One more big boo-boo which we've discussed, the block pattern.
Oh yeah,
Why would you need it?
yeah. What are we? Is this a Himalayan competitor?
True.
Okay, we can make that 4 Booboos. CK,
Yes, Musky.
this time we have a whiteboard
Yep.
with 7 parameters.
Yes.
We are going to choose which we like in this or that.
In this or that. Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
I
yeah.
filled up mine. DD has filled up his. TMK has filled up his.
It's only me.
Only you. I'm going to cover what all we filled up, so you don't get influenced by what we did.
Yes.
So let's go find out what the score is, final score.
Sure.
Okay, just hang on.
Musky, we've seen the scores. It tells a story.
It does tell a pretty big story.
Yes.
And
So what's your final take on it?
is that the end of the story?
I don't think so.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
Yeah. For me, buying a motorcycle is just not about the numbers,
Yes.
but how I, as a buyer, can connect to the product. Emotional connects cannot be quantified with numbers. End of the day, it's your satisfaction. And that's what I believe. And from that perspective, I would say the Hunter appeals more to me. Yes, it might not have the fancy computer on the speedometer console. It might not have the RPM meter, but therein, there is something in the Hunter that tickles me. How about you?
I agree with you.
For once.
Everything is not about numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about numbers. There are some things that can be quantified, some cannot. The emotional aspect cannot be quantified.
Yes.
To each his own.
Yes.
And during our chat, I mentioned the heart and the head.
Exactly.
The head gives the numbers.
Yes.
Finally, a motorcycle in this segment at that price,
Yes.
and like TMK mentioned, so many years of experience with the brand, I have an emotional connect with the. It is natural to have that connect.
Exactly.
So once we put in the heart and the head together,
Yeah.
more often than not, the heart wins.
True. I agree. I agree with you.
So this is what tugs the heart.
Yep.
Logic says Ronin.
Ronin.
Science says Ronin.
Yes.
Numbers say Ronin.
Yes.
Design, figures, mathematics, arithmetic, geometry, trigonometry, all that
Algebra.
say algebra says Ronin.
Ronin. Yeah.
Heart says Royal Enfield.
Enfield. True.
It's a tough call,
Yep.
to each his own.
Yes.
Some people use the head, some people use the heart. It is up to each individual what works for them.
Yes.
I hope we have shared some clarity and information which can help make your choice. So there is no right choice, there is no wrong choice. It's a personal choice, to each his own. What tickles them,
Yes.
that is the right choice.
And we would be interested to know what tickles you when you make a decision between a Hunter or the Ronin, or for that matter, any motorcycle that appeals to you.
Would you go with the head or would you go with your heart?
Do leave your comments down.
Till next time, take care.
Take care.
Really enjoyable that way. Very different,